So I haven't had time to write an article or kind of gather my thoughts about this thing. So I'm just going to go off the cuff here. The most recent episode of Starfleet Academy, it had opened with the sex scene, this really weird, awkward looking sex scene between the Betazoid woman and the Starfleet criminal guy, the crimer. So he and she are the very weird sex they're having, right? It's like people don't have sex. It's like, what's going on here? It's like, I guess you'd assume that the directors or the writers think that, oh, sex is just two people lying on each other in bed, just that way. It's like, no. There was somebody who was commenting on it, was talking about it. I was listening to his commentary, very funny commentary. He was mentioning how what he thinks is going on is the way actors are nowadays. The way actors are is very different from the way they used to be. It used to be actors were very professional, and they knew they were actors, right? So if they had a scene where maybe they had to have less clothing on and being in bed with another actor, that was, they had to treat the situation professionally. They're in character. They're not themselves, right? But then you see this red carpet stuff with these Starfleet people, and they think of themselves as more than actors, right? They think of themselves as being like themselves while they are acting, or while they are playing these characters, right? So who knows where their mind is at when they're doing these sex scenes or whatever, but I'm assuming the assumption is that they've signed something away to make sure that when they are in these situations, they can't be touching each other a certain way, or they can't be doing certain things because, they want to avoid a lawsuit. They don't want one of these actresses to come back later and say, oh, yes, I felt like I was being abused, or I was forced into doing this, yada, yada, yada. And then there's a lawsuit on their hands. So that's why it looks awkward, right? Made me think that in the future, as AI becomes more advanced, that's something that they might do in the future, just to avoid lawsuits, just to avoid this whole awkward thing. And it's funny to think about this, by the way. It's funny to think about how almost every character in this new Starfleet show is some shade of gay, right? They're some kind of weirdo, and but when it comes to the actual act of sex, it's like we don't really know how this works. It's just so funny. It's so funny how dysfunctional society's become, where we are so obsessed with sex until like we have to like get down to the act, and then it's like, what do I do? What is this? Oh, it's weird. It's so. Anyway, that was my thoughts on that.